What is up, everybody? Horns Forward Nation, Brahmas Familia, how you doing? I am your host, the Mariachi with the big D Wayne energy, accompanied by my two other co-hosts here.
DJ.
What's up, everybody? DJ
Yeah,
and BD.
exactly. Because and then all of our other Miss Chutem Brahmasita is currently in the air on her way home from DC, as is SAJ, which is why they cannot join us. I decided to be crazy and get here at 10:45 this morning, so which means I've been up since 2 a.m. our time because my flight left at 6 a.m. From Reagan Airport. But yeah, fresh off of DC. Um, and yeah, let's get into it because I
Yeah.
mean,
I mean, tell us
what
how was the trip? How was, everything before that?
So before the game, I would say as I anticipated, and which is why I know DJ disagrees with me so much, but this weekend just
Mm-hmm.
proved to me why out next second to our fan base, the DC Defender fan base is my favorite. They were nothing but kind and hospitable. Um, they were very friendly, welcoming, and were excited to have us there. And they kept on telling us how amazed they were going back to the championship game, how great hosts we were to them. I kept hearing that constantly. So it just goes to show that even way back over a year ago now, we left that much of an impact on them. And hearing that, because I know all the work that went into planning that, just meant a whole lot. And it was like seeing a bunch of old friends because a lot of these friends were people who came to the tailgate last year for the championship game. And they were honestly and understandably so skeptical about, like, is it really free? Like, can we just show up and grab beer? Like, they still could not understand that concept. They were like, we don't, that's unheard of here. And granted, they also don't have a place to tailgate in DC because
Yeah.
it's right in the center of everything.
Mhm.
The Nationals baseball park is there. It's right in the middle of everything. So there's no space. So the spot to go to is Walter's Bar, which is where we were able to post up, and we saw all of our friends there, the Defender, Captain Obvious. He's even got a cardboard cutout, Captain Obvious, in Walter's Bar. It was amazing. And of course, when he saw us, that warm smile of his, big old hug, and him and multiple fans had invited us Brahmas fans to join them in the beer snake just to add a cup. And that's where trouble started because the fans were wonderful. Audi Field, I can't say the same. We had a lot of trouble with them.
Well, you could tell by just the images on that I've seen around the social media is like they have, and I saw somebody else say like, why do they got security around the beer snake section? And you could
Yeah,
see it. I
all
mean, like
around.
they all around. There's like the whole section, all the way up to the top, all the way
Yeah,
down to the
yeah, yeah.
side.
Yeah, they do.
And
They
And I'm
do.
we've
just
we've
like,
heard that before from, the Predator couple and stuff when they went up there that they same thing. The fans invited them to go add to the beer snake and security
Mhm.
turned them away.
Yeah, and
So
this time security said it was for our protection. Now, and there was fans of ours that bought tickets specifically in the beer snake section, and they were denied entry, and that it's for your own protection. So they sent them over to us, and we warned them ahead of time, like, hey, just be prepared for that.
yeah.
So it wasn't
That's absolutely crazy to me. Like
like
what uh,
so that's
are
technically
you
like an upgrade, right?
They technically yes,
yeah.
but I mean, if you're going to deny entry to someone who traveled all the way from San Antonio to Washington D.C. to go watch the UFL, I mean, the least you can do is give them an upgrade to the seats if you're going to deny them entry. But it wasn't just that; like just getting into the stadium was like a challenge in and of itself. So the flag you see behind me right here, this one, me and Jay has the exact same one button white. They had to call a supervisor to come look at it, inspect it, clear it, because we just simply didn't want to carry it on our arms, so we just wrapped it around us like capes. Meanwhile, there's people walking in, Defender fans, wearing actual capes, and no problem. But for us, let's call the supervisor and inspect, our flags, and then, they were thankfully cleared. But then I kid you not, I had to take out, understandably so, my wallet, my phone, my sombrero. I took it off, but I had to walk like if I was getting like I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I walked through like that. Obviously, if you guys have seen how I dress, I have gala, which is those metal things on my mariachi traje, and that sets off the metal detectors because it's metal, right?
Right.
Well, they proceeded to take me to the side, wand me down, and pat me down. And they were like, "It keeps going off on your legs here." I'm like,
I wonder why.
because it's metal. Like, maybe that's why. And they're like, "Well, I don't know if that's allowed." And I'm like, "Do you want me to go in without pants or something?" Because
I mean, you probably do it. So I mean, you might as well have spent that whole Memphis game without pants on. So,
but the thing is like they're like I was like, this is part of my attire. Like this is how I dress. And their excuse was, well, we ain't never seen anything like that before. So I don't know. And so I was like, I'm about to pull the cultural race card here if I have to. Like I will. But
yeah, I know they got black people at the gate too. So
yeah, like I was about to pull that, like, and I'm like, come on, like, don't make me do this. And they eventually, and also, Jackie has a UFL stadium approved bag that was not approved. Yeah, but it wasn't approved by Audi Field because it was a backpack. It was a book bag, according to them, and so. They took everything out. They searched everything. We had to buy a locker for it. It was just like, so once we were in the stadium, it was fine. People were great. Security on the field, which I'll talk about here in a second, were great. Just getting into the stadium, it was by far the most, like, I call Choctaw Stadium a prison. This felt like I was actually having to go through prison security to get inside. Like that's how bad it was. It was ridiculous. It was so ridiculous. But the Defender fans also agreed. They were like, that is ridiculous. And they were disappointed that we weren't able to go in and join them in the Bierschneck section because a lot of them wanted us to join them in there and just to go in, add a cup, and then go back to our seats. That's all we want. That's all they wanted us to do. That's all we wanted to do. But security was not having it. And then
I saw a lot of the comments too from the Defenders fans. Just I mean,
they were surprised.
They're not happy with it either, which I mean that's good, kind of bring it to light. Like if your team, if the fans of your team aren't cool with this, then why are you doing this for our protection when all the fans are like, we got no problem with them coming in.
So no, and then here's the thing is that so security they're definitely pumped their chest out a lot, right? Well, during the game, and this isn't something that they showed on TV, but during the game, around the 30-yard line, on the Bierschneck side of the stadium, there was a lemon someone threw a lemon and it landed on like the 30-yard line. And we're like, hey, there's a lemon on the field. Because at that point, that's a hazard for the players. Someone can slip on that. Someone can step on that, roll an ankle, something. That's a hazard on the player. That's a hazard for the players. So we're telling the security guys, hey, there's a lemon on the field. And then the security supervisor turns around. Well, I can't get it. I can't go and get it. And I'm like, well, then tell someone to go get it. Like, if you're going to go tell someone. And they were like, they flagged someone down that had a UFL hat. And they went and told, the ref, like, hey, there's a lemon. And, they got it off the field. But I'm like, oh, now you don't want to do your job? Like, come on now. Like, let's make this even both ways. But so my issue was the Defenders fans, I love them. Nothing but respect for them. Like I said, they are my favorite fan base outside of our own fan base. But um, Audi Field and their security, they are something else. They're
But
something
they
else.
got a bad rep for themselves because they had issues last year too. The security
Yeah.
with the beer snake and all that because you know they try to take it down and throw it away and
Oh,
all
that
that
was
stuff.
the first game. That's what started the whole
Yeah,
limit thing with
Yeah,
them.
so
But, you know,
they got a bad name for themselves. That's
I
for
mean,
sure.
yeah, but I mean,
so they just seem to keep adding to it. You know, they're not doing
Exactly.
anything to clear their name.
but I will say that we did see Moose Johnston, Russ Brandon, where they were there on the sideline, and Moose came over and said, "I saw y'all in Memphis. I saw last week y'all were in Arlington, and you're kidding me. You guys are here now in Washington. Like this is what?" He's like, "Thank you guys for showing." Like he was very appreciative of the Brahmas having a presence there and not just being sitting down and being quiet, but and also not being, because it's one thing like players' families. There was a lot of player families there that we got to meet. Rex, the long snapper, we got to meet his mom and his high school coach actually. So that was really cool. A couple of grandparents were there. So this is one of the beautiful things about away games is that a lot of the family members go and you get to see, you get to meet and really just connect with them on a personal level. And I always tell people from the families, hey, if you guys get to come down to San Antonio, make sure you come to the tailgate. We'll take care of you guys. And they're just they're like, thank you. Like, they just appreciate the hospitality and the friendliness from us just as regular fans that have no family on the team. We're just there because we love the team and we love our city. So we met a couple players, families there, and I mean we were right at field level. So I got
saw
to
you obviously
yeah.
y'all sent the pictures and stuff. You can see how close you guys were to Brad Wing and all this stuff, and obviously
Yeah.
the stash. I mean, did you get to
Oh
tell
my
him
God.
how glorious his mustache was?
I mean I wanted to so badly, but it was just so glorious. I was speechless for most of it. But I got up close and personal and saw how beautiful it was. And we have a second stash on the team now.
Really?
Handlebars. Yeah, I think he's one of the new backup quarterbacks.
Oh, the one they
And
just signed?
well, they had two of them that they just
Oh,
signed.
the one from
Not
Arizona.
no,
The one from
not
Arizona?
it wasn't him. It was someone else because they cut Flacco's gone, so it's just
Yeah.
Dormandy. There was someone else, and then the other guy from Arizona. The Arizona is
Oh,
number
Hogan.
3. Hogan,
Is it
yeah,
Hogan?
I think it's him. I don't remember his number, but I remember seeing this amazing handlebar mustache that was like a gingery red color, and I was like, we have the best freaking facial hair in the league. Oh my god. Um, but yeah, it was great, and you know, shout out to Brad Wing's leg. Um,
Man, that was the highlight of the
he-
game right there,
dude,
dude.
his punts were on fire yesterday, and I mean those were NFL punts.
Yeah.
Like it's clear. Like I understand now why he punted for the Steelers. Why he's still punting for the Brahmas, I don't know. I'm glad he is because we love him, but like he's gonna be gone in the NFL. Like if the NFL doesn't pick him up, I don't know what's wrong
I
with
mean,
them.
we've seen the trend of that, how good players play in the league, man. The NFL just brings them on, try them out in the camps, and then they end up back with us. So I hope and pray that he gets
Oh, I
in the
He played
absolutely.
NFL.
for the
But
Steelers last
He,
year,
but
didn't he?
he did play
For
for
a
the
couple
yeah.
yeah,
He was active on the Steelers for a while, as was
but then
Rex.
they end up coming back to us. So
Yeah, which is we welcome him back with open arms. Get
for
more of that
sure.
more game footage.
Absolutely. But some of those chip shots right on the goal line, just beautiful,
Oh yeah,
beautiful
Yeah,
punts.
and also shout out to the beautiful, wonderful Ryan Santoso's mustache for that tackle, that touchdown saving tackle. He pushed that player out of bounds right at the very end. Um, and that was I don't like having to see our kickers having to make tackles, But
Well, we know what
I'm,
happened last time a kicker made a tackle, so
Man,
I'm glad he's okay. I mean, that mustache is invincible. Let's be real. But like,
well,
hey,
he didn't even hit the guy. I think that's what
well,
the aura of the mustache like
Just-
knocked him out of bounds. He
like,
just
boom,
he got
there you go.
close to him and just kind of pushed him away.
It was too much for the runner to handle. He was like, "Oh man, I can't. I gotta, out of respect, I'm gonna step out of bounds for this man." So, and by the way, I just want everyone to know, in case y'all didn't watch the game, I have been part of the Big G Wayne Energy Club, and I'm in honor of that. Here we go.
oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm drinking one of these because I also need one. But yeah, and Arlington lost again.
Let's jump into the game, man. What's your thoughts on the game? Your takeaways from the game.
DC came ready to. They were ready for the passing game. They were not ready for the running game. If you notice, DC was playing back, which is, and now granted, the offensive line was also doing a hell of a job opening up the holes for Lovett, which is why he was able. I mean, he was able to run down their throats. We just couldn't finish plays. We couldn't finish drives. But as far as the passing game, DC was ready for that. They were baiting. They were playing back. They shut down the receivers all day. And, Dormady didn't have the best of nights when it came to throwing. There's some throws were low.
I saw a lot of high throws. And, I saw a lot of slips by Dormady, by the receivers. Like that.
Granted, you would think that because they're playing on natural grass, not on turf, like they do in every other stadium, and I'm sure on their practice field there at Dragon Stadium at South Lake Carroll High School, it's artificial turf. And there is a little bit of an adjustment, but this is an adjustment that both teams had to make. Yeah. And the grass, I mean, there wasn't raining. They were expecting a rainy, sloppy game. It didn't rain at all. Actually, the sun actually peaked out for a little bit. So we can't really say that, the field played a factor into the game, because it was both teams have to play on that field, and both teams practice on the same artificial turf back in Arlington. So it's, it's not really.
I wonder if maybe it's, DC might have been ready with, the correct length cleats and stuff, and maybe we weren't. I don't know. I saw us slipping a whole hell of a lot.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff.
DC wasn't.
The grass was slick, because I could feel the grass. It was slick, but still, I mean, the thing is that, like, slipping is okay. I understand, but if you're trying to get to the next level, you're like, that's not an excuse, because when you go play in a place like Chicago at Soldier Field, or in Green Bay at Lambeau, that's natural grass. When you go play in the dumpster that is, the Vikings stadium, that's turf. So you have to be prepared for both. When you go play in the black hole that is Jerry World, where dreams go to die, then that's turf right there. So, like, you have to be ready for both. And saying, well, the grass was slick, not good. That's not going to cut it in the next level.
No, absolutely not. No, I mean, I'm not saying that we lost because we were slipping. It was a weird thing that I kept noticing throughout the game. It was like, come on, y'all gotta do something, fix this. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was.
To me, man. I'm just being honest. I'm gonna be the realist, but I just feel like we played a horrible game.
We didn't.
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely the overthrows, the drop passes. Like you said, can't convert. I think we went forward on 4th down on we were inside the 5-yard line. We couldn't convert.
Our second drive.
Yeah, I don't understand why we went. I don't understand why we was in shotgun formation that close to the goal line, and then you instead of just running it under the center. Or he was that close. He could have sneaked it. Something. I mean,
yeah, I think we were within the 2. I think we were about 1.5.
1 or 2 yards.
They don't do sneaks. We haven't done a sneak all year.
Man.
But it was just even that play. I mean, there was bad blocking on the offensive line, man. They let the defense come right through. So
the pass game was
everything was just looked off. I mean,
on offense, it was just other than the running game and
that
the
was the only
offensive
bright
line,
spot.
like that was the bright spot. Like,
they couldn't stop.
but
offensive line running game, not offensive line passing game.
No, but
they wasn't even blitzing for real. They was really only rushing 4, and they was getting back there.
And dude, they said that all game long. Like Greg Williams is not blitzing, and you know,
which is uncharacteristic for him because he's aggressive. But at the same time, like one of the things that really just caught my attention was like the running game was. I think we played into their trap. They trapped us to the point where it's like they were playing off so much and just shutting down our receivers in the receiving game that we had to run.
Yeah.
And then once we were in a point at the end of the game where if you run, you need to be able to pass, but you can't pass.
Stacked the box. They stacked the box. Like,
at the end of the game,
you got one safety. You got to run. I mean, you got to pass.
Like
you play action.
At the end
there was
game,
some bad reads by Dormady. You know, just he wasn't reading the defense right. You know, they said it a bunch of times on the broadcast, and you know, we were kind of talking about it in the chat too. You know, on a couple of those, the option plays, like he handed it off where he could have passed to the tight end. You know, like just it just everything just seemed off about that game.
Yeah, and also like on the defensive side of the ball. Now
we kept it close though. The defense, you got to give it to the defense. We kept it close.
The defense did shut them down. You know, if you heard the press conference after the game, Coach Wade made a good point. He's like, you know, they kicked 3 long field goals. You know, and that was the difference maker in the game because if they miss it, we have good field position.
Yeah.
But they made them. They made 3 out of the 4. He goes, and that's 9 points right there.
But you should, if you're leaving it to the other team to miss field goals for you to win a game, that's a bad strategy right there.
No.
You already lost that game.
But yeah, I mean it's not good, right? But it's one of those things where you know that's how the game played out. It was a low scoring affair. The defense held. It was a bend but don't break again. But this time, granted, we had 5 starters that were injured, that were out. One of them being, and I missed him dearly because he was such a monster, Devontae Scott. Devontae Scott was a monster last week. He was a terror in the back. Granted, it's also Arlington, so take with that what you will. But he was a monster last week, and he wasn't there this week because he's hurt. You know, and I think
Delonte was missed, man.
I think every one of those defensive that missed, was missed.
So
we had 3 offensive linemen hurt too.
Yeah, and that's to answer your question here, John. You know, where's 45 been? He was hurt this week. That's Delonte.
I mean, he was on IR for I think last week against Arlington was his first week back.
His first week back. I think he probably re-injured whatever he has.
You know who I missed though? And I noticed it because we was not effective in the return game. Anthony McFarland, bro.
Oh, 100%.
Man.
I
kept telling myself, I'm like, why do they have and I'm don't get me wrong, Stevenson is a great wide receiver. I just don't think he do good in the run game. I mean, return game. And I'm like, bro,
compared to McFarland, like
they let Bryce Allen go too because he was part of that return game. But I'm like, Anthony McFarland, bro, we missing him so bad.
Hopefully he gets back soon. I don't know where he's at as far as his time frame for injury.
Mm-hmm. He missed a few games now.
But I don't know if he's not an injured reserve because if he wasn't,
I think he is. He is.
And then if he is, then he has to be out at minimum 6 weeks from the week they put him on. So we're coming up close to that. If it's not next week, it'd be the week after because he's been gone since like week 2, I believe. That's the last time I remember seeing him.
Sometime.
And now, as far as Dormady getting his thumb banged up, we were a little nervous because we heard after the game like, hey, someone go check on Dormady, see check, and he's okay.
Okay.
It probably don't feel great, but he's okay. From what we were able to hear on the field, he's gonna be okay.
Was that his throwing hand?
I don't know if it was his throwing hand because it was after the game, so
Oh, okay.
they didn't really show it too much. But that that last play of the game, there was a collective. What the heck was that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
it's
it
what
was
that lateral, the lateral.
Why are you
Yeah.
going to run hook and ladder like with 25 seconds left in the game?
You could have
well,
dink and duck down the field
I
because the
mean,
clock stops on the first downs.
yeah.
yeah, no, but like a hook and lateral, and then you run backwards and throw it back to Dormandy, and I'm just like,
Yeah, that was
this
terrible.
it was. We were just like, that was just like some street ball stuff right
Yeah.
there.
I mean,
Like,
that play right there just kind of,
it cemented
small
the
glimpse of what the entire game for us was like. It just
offensively. Yeah, it was.
absolute crap.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean, I'm glad to get this one out the way. I mean,
I think, but you
Get
know
him out
what?
the way
Said that
early,
about
man.
St. Louis, man. We need to stop getting these losses out of the way and just start winning the ones we're supposed to win.
Well,
That's true.
now at
I mean, we
this
split
point,
with DC, so
We
at,
did,
at,
but
at this point, it's if we want to make the playoffs, we need to win out. That's
well, that's
the
true too.
fact of
Yeah.
the matter. Like, because DC, they're an up and down team, as are we. Thankfully, we have a game on them, but it can very easily shift. And before we know it, we're on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
I think DC, or I think St. Louis, is. I mean, we'll see how they do against Birmingham. I mean, Birmingham might
I'm
take
looking
their.
forward to that game, man.
But the thing is that now that Birmingham has clinched a playoff spot, maybe they take their foot off the gas a little bit. I don't know. And are they playing in Birmingham?
Yes.
For which one? St.
Yes.
St. Louis,
No.
Yeah,
Birmingham.
it's in Birmingham. It's in Birmingham.
Yeah, they're playing in
So-
Birmingham.
So they don't have to deal with crowd noise, other than a couple of banjos and stuff like that. But outside of that, like, I mean, I don't like. I could see them wanting to rest some of their key players to keep them playoff ready, but still keep them in game shape. Give them a couple of,
I
give
don't
them a
see
couple.
that.
But I could
I,
don't
I,
see that.
I,
I
I
don't
would
see
see
that.
that maybe the last game, not this early into the
I
season.
honestly don't even see that with the whole season. I mean, it's only 10 games. And remember when we played DC last year, the last game of the season, they played everybody, and they was going into the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see nobody resting really. I mean, they gonna want to, and then a lot of it come down to points for it too. So keep that in
Yeah,
mind too.
we
'Cause they
saw
gonna want to put
that
up the most points.
with Seattle and St. Louis last year.
They want to put the points up. So just keep that in mind too. But
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
Well, I know that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. Maybe the USFL has a different mentality. Remember, granted, they are our USFL team, and they do things a little differently, on that side of the river. So, we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. I'm curious to see what Birmingham, how they approach the rest of the season. Now that they have a playoff spot, I'm sure they want to clinch home field advantage. I'm sure they would love to go undefeated. But that path to being undefeated also runs through San Antonio.
I could see them resting against the Memphis, the Houston and stuff like that. I think against us, against St. Louis, against the upper tier teams, they're gonna want to show their dominance or try to show their dominance.
We got a tough back end, man. Just keep that in mind too.
We got our last two games are gonna be
the tough games, man.
And that's where, especially in that Birmingham game, that's our last home game of the season. We really have to pack the dome. I mean, we really got to show up. This team, I can't tell you, like, I got messages from some of the coaches beforehand when they found out that we traveled there. Like, it energized them. They were like, thank you for all. Like, they were really grateful for the support. So when the Alamo Dome shows up and we're loud and we're rowdy, we are what we do. It's one of the things that really, it does help. Now, something that DC did really well that I hope that our fans can at some point learn is they made noise on offense, but as soon as they were going into the huddle, the crowd shut up.
Yeah.
But even though it looked a little bit sparse, the crowd, like, they still brought the noise. Like I will tell, like it got loud in there. Not as loud as the Alamo Dome. Granted, it's also an outdoor stadium, but it did get loud in there. Like DC, they knew how to be loud. That was something that was there. Now,
The
yes,
reviews.
and a lot of those.
Hey, I thought that was a safety, man. That should have been a safety.
So I was
Yeah.
for I think
He reached out and he got it over. When he reached out,
But
he got
wasn't
it
he
over.
he was still grabbing them, bro?
no. So
I thought he was still holding them. So that's like that's forward progress got to be stopped.
what I think maybe I spoke too highly of the refs last week when I said, hey, refereeing was better this week because the steps
Talking,
forward
man.
that
Talking too soon.
they took a couple steps back this week. There was face masks that went uncalled. There was a lot of holding that went uncalled again. There was pass interferences that went uncalled. The safety, the review on the extra point try that like he
That
made
oh
he
god,
made it. Like
Yeah.
I don't understand. And then the when they did the offensive pass interference, when I think it was Kirkland who was doing this when thinking we were going to get the flag. Went back and looked at it, and it was one of those things where like it really shouldn't have been pass interference on anybody.
yeah,
Like it wasn't offensive or defensive pass interference, but they ended up calling it offensive pass, and I'm just like, what? Like, and then the thing is like, I know Coach Wade with the Super Challenge, he said, I want to make sure to use it on a critical play, a game,
yeah.
a point
In the
scoring
fourth
play,
quarter, potential
you know,
scoring play or a critical
but
point in the game, but
but then to not use it at all when it could have been used and change things around, like
yeah,
that was also tough to watch. And then we ran out of timeouts, couldn't use it no more, and it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, we should have had a safety. We should have got the point after a try, but shoulda, coulda, woulda. I mean, that's just how it is. And again, I do hope that the officiating goes back and reviews it and continues to improve, because I know there's one official that's already been called up for the NFL next year.
yep.
The
You know,
female.
yeah, congratulations to her.
Her name
But I want
Carissa or something.
I want all of
Karina.
the officials to do well. And right now, I don't have faith in the officiating. I have a feeling like it's going to be one of those things where they're going to have an outcome on one of the games, unfortunately, and it's going to be an important game.
I thought Wade. He was playing conservative a little bit, and I know probably because our offense really wasn't moving how he wanted it to move. Because a lot of those times it was like fourth and short, and he brung out the punt team, and I'm like, oh man. So
Yeah, and they
yeah, I
made a
don't know,
point to
man.
talk about that in the broadcast. We've been the most aggressive all year going
Yes,
forward on fourth down, except for this game. Punted damn near every time, except when we were, inside the 5. Because at
I
that
felt
point, I
like
would have liked them to kick the field goal.
yeah,
Get some points
that's
on the
yeah.
board. And
Should have
then
took that.
I'm going back to when we were in the fourth quarter. There was 2.5, 3 minutes left. We had the 4th and 7.
Yes,
Hey, you should have gone for it there.
should
I
have gone
know,
for it. But we were on
got
our own side of
timeouts
the.
and all that,
We was on
but
our own side of the field though. That was kind of tricky because if you would have
yeah.
missed it, they would have been in field goal range. And I
But
get what you're saying. I get what you're saying though.
I get what you're saying. At the same time, though, with the way the passing game was going, I wouldn't have
Yeah,
trusted. I wouldn't have trusted it. And the run, they had at that point they were starting to stuff the run too, because they
yeah.
knew that's all we had.
That's all. That's that. And when they went single high safety, I was like, man, they
That, that
stacking the box, bro.
that's why
So
that's
it's
why
making you throw. You can't.
like like they we played into their trap,
Exactly.
into their
We
game.
got our coach, bro. We got our coach.
It was like they set it up to where it's like, let's force them to run because they're not going to get their passes off, because we're going to be shutting down the passes all game long. And then when they realize, okay, we're not having a good passing game, let's run, let's stuff the box at the end. Time's going to run out.
I do gotta add too. Our secondary wasn't good though. Our secondary didn't play that good. They was cooking out corners, man.
We've been talking about it all
And he
year.
kept doing the
like,
same. He was doing the same
poor
play.
tackling all game.
Yeah, poor
Man.
tackling. There you
How
go.
many times did we go in and just kind of just a weak tackle and they break it and go for another 5, 10 plus yards? You know?
And that's part of that bend and don't break defense. You know, I keep saying like that's part of that style of defense is a lot of missed opportunities on the tackles. But all we can do is like, you know what? It's at the end of the day, someone's got to win. It wasn't us this week, but today starts a new week.
Yep.
And this week, is Houston. And thankfully, they're hungry. But I will also say that their coaching staff is very suspect. I mean,
I agree.
I've been watching some of the Houston games, and I know their players are definitely, they play with a lot of pride, but there's a lot of coaching decisions on their end that I'm just like,
DC was prepared for it. That's probably why they had the right cleats. They were prepared for it. They
I
played it all the time.
We talked about it last week. This was DC was at a crossroads. They were either going to get it together and just play amazing, or the wheels were going to come off. And I mean, they
got it together.
Credit to them, they got it together. They played a hell of a game.
It had to be us.
And yeah, I mean, it sucks that we were the ones that
it's adversity,
Yeah,
it's just going to make the path to the championship that much sweeter. Unfortunately, though, it does look like if we're going to want to go to the championship, we're going to have to go to St. Louis 3 straight weeks in a row, which I'm not looking forward to because I only have so many N95 masks. Okay, like I don't want to be breathing in all that dust.
Who DC got next week?
Michigan.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot,
Chuck Norris, the kicker.
That's gonna be a tough one for them.
And they're playing at DC.
But Michigan just won, right?
Against Arlington.
Just won, yeah. Dude,
that was
a
game though. They shouldn't have let them
snatching defeat out of the hands of victory right there.
Yeah, they should not have let them do that. But
it's Arlington.
Any given weekend.
Arlington.
Yeah, Arlington, huh?
Yeah.
Look, if they lose next week, they will have lost more. I think at that point they're out of playoff contention because they will have lost more.
I think they out now.
No, they can still come back.
Oh, okay.
I think they're mathematically in,
but like, there's a reason why the odds are plus 15,000 right now, which is even worse than what we had.
You don't want to put $100 bet on them for that, man.
I would
get $100, get $15,000.
I don't, not him. I would see an Arlington fan doing it, not him.
Like the way he hates them. Like if they win out, they will be 4-6. But a lot of other things
they won last year 4-6.
Right. But a lot of other things have to happen in order for them to get to second place. A lot of mess ups for both DC and San Antonio have to mess up.
That much is what got them in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, but this year, I mean, it's a different
9 inches.
But
I had to.
You had to get that one in, yeah.
No diddy.
But yeah. So like Mike G here says, a San Antonio victory next week will eliminate Arlington. Which, let's be real. I mean, even though I will not be at that game, I need you guys to freaking hold it down. I need you guys. I mean, the Roughnecks are averaging 6,000, and 8 of us could outdo 8,000 Memphis fans. We can outdo with how there's going to be more people going to the Houston game than the Arlington game because it's closer and it's during the middle of the day. Granted, it is Mother's Day. Hey, take your mom out to the game this weekend, but it's officially the traveling crew is now officially called the Bulls on Parade. Like
the Bulls on Parade.
Like that is the traveling crew, and it doesn't matter if it's you go to one away game or all the away games. Like, be a part of the Bulls on Parade because we we have that reputation now that where San Antonio plays, there will be a fan presence there that will be felt and will be heard.
Yeah, there will be a loud fan presence there, not just a couple, smattering of fans.
Yeah.
We'll be there. We'll be loud and rowdy.
Yeah, it's gonna be like we're gonna be in the Alamo Dome, and I truly think that I love the Predator couple, I love Rick Rocker, but that's three people. Everyone else, Houston.
And you can't hear them yell behind their masks, so
So those of you who are planning on going to the Houston game, Jackie will be reaching out tomorrow, so keep an eye out for that. If you are wanting to sit with the group, get the group rate, and be all together in the Brahma section of the stadium, wherever that is. I don't know. Like I said, I unfortunately will not be there, but if someone will do me the honors to at least take the sombrero and make sure that the sombrero has a presence there, because I believe in the power of that thing. That thing is powerful. Which it's and a kind of a sidebar here, but it's an experience I had in DC. And this isn't to get political or anything like this, but so you guys know how a lot of the migrants that have been coming over the state of Texas has been busing them to places like New York, DC, those areas as like a political stunt, right? Well, I met many people who were bussed over there. Obviously, when you're dressed like a charro and a mariachi, you tend to stand out, and so I met a guy who was a DJ in El Salvador, because when we were having dinner the night before the game, I played Grupo Frontera, I played Bobby Pulido, our music, from San Antonio. And he comes up to me, he's like, "Is that Bobby Pulido?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "I've not heard that song in decades, because I used to be a DJ in El Salvador back in the 90s, which is when Bobby Pulido was at his peak, And then he started speaking to me in Spanish, and it just, after that, he just took control of the jukebox. Like, it went from like Bobby Pulido to like Nicki Minaj, and then he was like, "Nah, I'm gonna play other music." Like, and he started playing like banda music, and like people from the bar were just like, "What is going on?" But like, the guy who was running the music he took over, and he started playing the music that he wanted to listen to, because there was finally someone in there. The next day, I go, there was a CVS right across the street from where me and Jason were. And one of the ladies who, like, we were looking for, how we do our aspirin before the game. And
I was gonna hope y'all would y'all got stocked up, because
yes,
usually I bring it.
Yeah, so we did. And
Good.
so Jason went to go ask one of the workers who was there stocking the shelves. And she spoke with an accent, a Mexican accent. So I turned around and I was like, immediately recognized. I was like, and now, granted, I was already dressed up for the game. So there I am in my big old sombrero and my charro suit. And I turned around and I started talking to her in Spanish. I said, "Thank you very much." And, I was like, "I appreciate your help and all that." And her eyes just lit up with joy that someone was speaking to her and acknowledging her and was just talking to her in Spanish. And then when we were at the bar, Walters, one of the barbacks, he was from Venezuela. He walked all the way from Venezuela to Juarez, crossed in Juarez over to El Paso, where he then got picked up and was sent on a bus over to DC. But the key thing that I want to just take away from that is, like, everyone there was working. They were all doing, and like, I'm talking about bottom rung jobs, and to see someone walking in with something cultural that they recognize and speaking to them in their language. And I saw all of them just got so excited.
Made them feel at home.
it made them feel something special, and like it almost brought me to tears because it's like, for me to interact with these people here, it's just another day, but over there I can't imagine that it's a common thing to be able to interact with someone who can relate to you and like your culture and your background and all that. And like the guy from Walters, he kept on pulling me aside and talking to me and just like talking about music and his journey, and like it was just wonderful to be able to hear that and experience that and know now, okay, these people are coming, they're crossing over, they're getting sent over to DC, and now I see what they're doing in DC. They're working their tails off. They're not just mooching or nothing like that, like people think. And like just a small little acknowledgement made the world of a difference to them. And just experiencing that firsthand. Because I mean, I don't know what happens when people get on the bus or when they get flown out somewhere. I don't know what the end result is. I got to experience it, and it was something that, like I said, it damn near brought me to tears. Being able to just experience that, and I don't want to say give them a gift, but like just talking to them in their language and acknowledging them. I don't know that they're used to being acknowledged.
I would say, you imagine that's not something they get too much, out in kind of everyday public, over in DC. So
No, they being from there, it's scattered, certain areas in DC. I know for sure, but Maryland, I know for sure they are. It's a big presence. There's a certain part close to like Silver Spring area. It's a Wheaton area. It's like a big old like a town. I guess like how like Chinatown, you got it looks like, in Wheaton area, it's like a big old area for like that type of thing, like the stores, the markets and stuff. So it's scattered, but it's definitely not a big presence in a lot of parts of DC and Maryland. So
that's
good though.
And so that just shows the power of just the power of sport, like the power of just coming together, and the power of just being able to enjoy each other's company, because for as much as, Audi Field Security wants to make you think that the DC Defender fans want to fight everybody, that's the furthest from the truth. I mean, we met up with the Defender the night before. We filmed that video about the Brahmas tacos that everyone seemed to love.
That's fantastic.
No, they might not want to, but I think I get what they're saying was for your safety, because that is a section where they all guzzle beers. So you never know what can happen.
No,
I get that. I get you trying to have fun, and I get where they coming from, because you just never know what can happen when it's a whole section full of drunk people. So
and the thing is that just to piggyback off of that, I can understand where you're coming from, but where I rebuke that is multiple, not just one or two, multiple groups of people were requesting for us to go in there with them, and it was security saying no to their own.
And that's on security. That's at that point. It's just.
But I understand where you're coming from, DJ. Yeah. Like, yes, anything can happen. I mean, but
like I understand, like if you guys were trying to get in and that section was like, nah, F them,
like
screaming, cursing, hey, cool, yeah, for our protection, I get it, yeah. But if they're like, nah, come on,
like, if they're asking for us to come in, like, it's like, look, all we want to do is add a cup and then leave.
Man,
we would have even bought a beer, like.
Look, I've seen multiple videos, and I get you, but I've seen multiple videos where the away team scores in that end zone, and they are like really throwing beer on the players, type of thing. So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I mean the only reason I rebuked that is because we were being requested to be in there. If we weren't, then we wouldn't have pushed the issue. But
all it takes is one. That's all it takes.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
All it takes is one, and be like, no, they didn't throw it. But I get you. But I mean, it is what it is. But I mean, it's a learning experience at this point.
Just a question, like,
it's a learning experience.
What kind of beer do they have there?
Them little, what's that, 12-ounce cups or some shit? I don't know.
No, it's a big old the big old cups.
Oh, 16 ounce or something?
like the tall boy cups. Like this
But they have
this wouldn't pull it
the
up.
they have the when you go out when you go down down out into the area where you walk around at, they have like stands where they have the little things you pull down and different beers come out like Budweiser and all that other stuff. Whatever I don't know the beer.
Yeah.
Heineken and all that, Corona. So
No,
it's
that's
different
what I'm
types, I
curious.
think.
Like what brands they got? It's all just
So they had
your
those.
standard light beer fare. Whether they got some
Yeah,
actual
they
good
have the
ones.
standard like national beers like Bud Light, Michelob.
Modelo or
They
something.
had Modelo. They had Dos
Corona.
Equis.
Did everyone like pull like a Memphis when you walked up to the beer stand and just asked if you wanted a Modelo?
No, they
No,
did.
they didn't do that at Memphis.
They
They did that
did.
at Memphis for real?
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
they were like, "How many Modelos do you want?" And I was like,
Oh no.
seriously. I'm like, I guess 3 then.
Seriously, but yeah.
Yeah. And then, but yes, something that Jackie pointed out that
Yeah, that's crazy.
no, that was me. But
Oh, that was you. Oh,
that-
see, that's what I'm saying.
but
They
that's
probably
what-
they probably watching our show last week.
no, but that's the thing is that they know that it was all in good fun. I mean, I'm filming there something with the defender at our hotel. Like it's all in good fun, and they all know and understand that. But our guys were talking smack to them during one of the timeouts. Our defense was lined up right there facing them, and they were
We
just
got
going
chippy.
like this and doing
chippy.
this and all sorts of stuff like that.
And they get on a
Man.
flight right after the game together. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
But they were they were doing that to the beer snake section, not to the team. To the beer snake
Oh,
section.
okay. Oh,
Yeah.
our team was doing that. To
Our
the
team
section?
was doing that to the beer snake section. Yeah.
See,
Our defense.
you would not live over there. I'm telling you, you would not live. They was gonna get you in trouble, man.
But I do want to also point out now that because I know we're coming up close to the hour. Jeremy mentioned this here in the comments, and it's something that I'm a part of. So tomorrow we are starting a new promotion for the rest of the season. Every Tuesday from 11 to noon at Pete's Taco House here in downtown San Antonio. If you show up, the first 50 fans will get 2 free tacos from Pete's.
I'm about to see where that's at.
A free Brahmas t-shirt. And you will be able to buy $10 tickets. Now, the $10 tickets thing, that's an all-day thing. So
Is this
you
an alert? This
Huh?
alert announcement? This a big announcement or what? This new?
It's starting tomorrow.
It starts tomorrow, but we've been pushing it on social media as much as we can.
Gotcha.
It's a partnership between me, their marketing team, Chris Flores, also known as Eat Migos, the Alamo Dome, Pete's Taco House. This is a big collaboration for the community to be able to give back to the community. And so the $10 tickets, this is going to be for the last 2 games of the season. So whether it's Arlington or Birmingham, every Tuesday there will be this deal going on. I will be there tomorrow during the event.
What time are you going tomorrow?
I'm going to be there early to help set everything up. So I'll be there around roughly 10:30, but it starts at 11. You have to be in line at 11. And only the first 50 people that show up will be eligible for the 2 free tacos and the free t-shirts. After that, once we hit the 50, then you have to try again next week. But that is something that, we want to put out there to help pack the dome for these next 2 games. Because 1, we want Arlington to continue to remain winless, and that's part of us beating them again. And 2, we got to show up for Birmingham. Big time. We got to show up and make sure that they are uncomfortable inside the Alamo Dome the entire time.
That's perfect timing for me.
Well,
that's lunchtime.
So the thing, so
I should be good then.
So here's the reason why we are doing it at that time, because it's at the lunch. It's right before the lunch hour. So we're trying to make sure we also because Pete's also runs it's a business, and we don't want to cut into their business. And obviously they have a busy lunch hour, and we don't want them to have to be attending to Brahma's people trying to, get their T-shirt and all this stuff, and then get their tacos, all while trying to also do a lunch rush. So that's why we're going from 11 to 12, so we can try to beat the lunch rush. But you can buy the tickets. You buy them with a QR code that's on the posters throughout the restaurant. But we want to try to make it as close to the lunch hour as possible, so that it's somewhat reasonable for people, while also not cutting into Pete's business. Because he's also got to make sure he runs a clean, a smooth operation for his regular clientele. So we're trying to be conscious and cognizant of that as well. But I don't think Pete's is open in the evening is a thing. I don't know the Pete's Tacos out. Let me see the hours. Because it might be something that we consider. Like if we do it later in the evening, let's see. So they close. They close at 3 p.m. So that's why we can't do it in the evening. They close at 3 p.m. And I don't want to do it from 2 to 3 because that's after lunch and that's middle of the workday. People starting to pick up their kids from school, so that's even harder time. So the best time slot we could find was right before the lunch hour, so that way,
really, 11 o'clock is when I like to go to lunch anyways because it beats the rush.
Right, yeah, you can get there at 11:30. It's because honestly, I don't know. It really just depends on how people are able to kind of snake out of work a little bit and go get some tacos. But we're hoping this is something that it's something that it's good for the community. It's right in downtown, so a lot of people work downtown, so it's walkable there. Now, Marlon, about what taco place closes at 3? A place that only serves breakfast and lunch. There's a lot of places that don't all have dinner hours. So Pete's is one of those.
So you got to buy tickets, right?
You don't have to buy the tickets. I mean, if you show up and if you're a season ticket holder, like, cool. But like, it would be nice to be able to make sure remember, this is like, if you're not going to buy the ticket, but you get the T-shirt and the tacos, maybe buy the ticket for someone else.
Yeah. I mean, get a couple tickets for, and give them away.
Kind of like pay it forward. It's $10. And how we're going to be doing this every Tuesday from here to the rest of the season. So next 4 weeks. Like I said, I'll be there at every one minus next week, because next week I will be in the middle of the ocean somewhere with Mickey Mouse and friends. But I'll be there every other time. I'll be there tomorrow. And I'll be there at all the other, especially for the Birmingham week, And it hurts me that I'm not going to be there next week, because that's Arlington week. And that's the week that I feel like I need to be there. But,
yeah, you that's crazy.
It is what it is.
I'll fill in your seat for you.
If you can make it, then
I'll be there. I'll be there.
You gonna dress up like a mariachi?
Nah, with my sombrero though.
Okay, that'll work.
I wear it every game. Come on, man.
As long, just wear it and you're good.
I'm gonna wear it. Yeah.
I would prefer if you went the full 9, but hey, it's all good.
Jackie was supposed to did a shirt. I mean, if she do a shirt, I'll wear the shirt. She got to do the shirt though, and she got to make it jersey style with my number on the back and my name on the back.
And so now, if you're wanting to buy tickets,
so you got to dress up like a taco.
If you wanted to buy tickets, we can also share the link so you can buy the tickets there, because this is really just about trying to move tickets, get butts in seats, get people into the Alamo Dome. Invite your friends, bring people out. I always tell people when it's their first time coming, all it takes is one.
Yep.
All it takes is
We've
one.
been saying that all year long.
Give me one game, and I will make you a fan. And I am batting 1,000 for that right now.
Yeah.
People want to come back. I actually met someone in DC who was from San Antonio, lives in San Antonio, was wearing a Brahma shirt. He was visiting his friend who lives in DC. And he was like, yeah, I went to a game last year And when I heard that the Brahmas were going to be here and I'm going to be here, I was like, well, let's go to the game. And then we run into you guys. You guys are from San Antonio. And I was like, so that means you're coming to the next game, right? He's like, yeah, probably. I'm going to come to the next game. So, we're going to have people that came to a game last year that haven't come this year, but they see that, I mean, if they're like, wow, these people, a lot of people were like, wow, these people travel all the way from San Antonio just for this. Like, wow. And so the energy is infectious. It's a vibe, man. And it's like I said, bring as many friends as you can. The tickets, like I said, we're doing this $10 promo on Tuesdays. And then it's also Arlington. Come on. We gotta let's put the nail in the coffin and let's make them the Cleveland Browns of the I'm sorry to any Browns fans out there or Detroit Lions fans, but let's make Arlington go defeated this year. I want to be able to have a t-shirt made where it's like the trophy, the Renegades logo, and a big no sign over the trophy that says the perfect season defeated, with the X over the UN before defeated.
Oh my goodness.
I do think they've got a pretty good shot at getting a win this week though against Memphis, because Memphis just looks terrible. I mean, after our game, they've gone way downhill.
But it's Arlington.
I know. Hey, you know what? Arlington will probably find a way to lose that game. But you know what? If they've got a shot to get a win, this is their week to get for their shot.
Yeah. Well, Chris over here saying Chicago Bears. The Bears haven't gone defeated. The Lions and the Browns have. So I'm just saying. But yeah, invite your friends. If you guys are available for lunch tomorrow, come down to Pete's Taco House. I will be there, dressed to the nines. You see me at every game. And come enjoy some tacos. And even if you're not part of the 50 that are in line, the tacos at Pete's Taco House, if you have not been there, are fantastic.
Very good. Very good. Been there many times.
They are very good. And so 100% recommend.
They are this fat boy approved.
Like, I'm not a fan of bean and cheese tacos. I will gladly eat a bean and cheese taco from Pete's because they make it right. And I'm not just saying that because because they're part of this promo. No, I have a video of me eating one, and I was so happy eating it because it was so good. Yeah. So, they do it right. At Pete's, they do it right. The tortillas are perfect. The portions are perfect. Their carne guisada is perfect. So come down to Pete's tomorrow and help support so we can pack this dome and make sure we, A, make Arlington one step closer to going 0-10, and 2, make sure that we corral those little ponies out in Birmingham that think that they're, hot shit right now. But I will just say, as my parting words, I went to the Poteet Strawberry Festival. There was a rodeo there. And they had stallions that they were out there parading. And what did the Cowboys use to control the stallions and corral them? Brahma bulls. Not just a bull, Brahma bulls. And I have videos of that. So don't be surprised if you see the Brahma's social media account use footage of actual Brahmas putting horses back into their corral. Because I've spoken to the right people, and they're like, "Send it over." Yes, sir. And y'all know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. So that's all I got. DC, I love you guys. Y'all were wonderful. Arlington, thank you for losing again. You made my week. I won, and also huge shout out to Zoa, the official energy drink of XFL fans everywhere, for making me part of the Big D Energy Club. So thank you. It's a nice club to be a part of. The whole nation knows. I'm just saying. But that's all I got. Any of y'all got anything else?
No, that's it, man.
All right. Well,
you know what? I'm looking forward to this next week, man. I know we didn't really talk about the upcoming game much, but
ain't much to talk about other than that.
You know what? But you know what? It's a get right game.
Get right game.
It's a get
Stop
right
the run
game. The coaches from Houston ain't the sharpest tools in the shed. They're not the brightest crayons on the box, however you want to call it. But let's go and you know, if they want to they like to rock the rig, let's tip the rig over and make it an oil spill. So y'all hold it down for me though, all right? Because I will be. I am not. You already know how I feel. I'm not gonna be there. I'm gonna be singing Mickey Mouse Club songs. So
there you go.
Heidi ho, Heidi ho, hey, hey, Mickey Mouse. And I'm out. Horns forward, y'all.
Horns
See y'all
forward,
next-
baby.